Hi, and welcome to the training for Desktop Cloud and your solar appointments. First thing I'm going to do is show you how to open up your programs and manage your programs. So to access your programs, you'll see them in a start menu here in the bottom left. You go to start menu and you go to all programs, and the programs you'll be using will be Form Manager, start menu, all programs, Agent Dialer. Now you'll see they open up on your taskbar down here below here. And so at that point you could right click and pin them. Again, right click and pin. And if you wanted to, you could also drag them out onto your desktop as well. If you wanted to have them out on your desktop. Put them wherever you want them. Okay, so once you have your dialer open, then you can open up your form. And you can drag them in whatever, it's best to have them like kind of side by side with each other. You can kind of make this one a little bit bigger, and this one doesn't really need to be as big. Okay, so when you're logging in your dialer, you're going to hit this go button. And then you're going to choose your campaign. And you're going to press login. And so you're going to hit add all. That's for your inbound. So that's for when people call back, and this is for your outbound dialer, blended, right here. And then you'll click submit. And then you'll want to hit call agent web phone. And this right here is what will connect your voice to the website. What happens is the notifications system will pop up from Google Chrome, which is Google Chrome is the only one you're supposed to be using, and you're going to want to allow it.
The only person in this conference.
And that voice, you're the only person in this conference. You have to hear that. If you don't hear that voice, then that means you're not connected properly. And a lot of times it could be your volume could be down, the headset's not plugged in correctly. Sometimes you just got to unplug the headset and plug it back in. Okay? And from there your dialer is ready to go. So I'm going to teach you about the dialer controls so you know how to. This right here, I call it the play button because it looks like a play button, but it's also the pause and resume button. This is what will get you started. This will start the dialer. When you press the resume or the play button, it'll start dialing, and eventually somebody will connect in over here. We'll kind of wait for that. While we're waiting for that, you also see over here, if you click in this area in the solar run form.
Hi.
So we'll go ahead and hang that up. So these are the dispositions that are going to come up. We'll go ahead and go through all the dispositions. Answer machine. Answer machine is kind of like your disposition for if you hear an answer machine, if you accidentally mess up a call and you didn't mean for them to connect and you want to just try again another time, you just hit answer machine. Busy, if they say I'm busy, call me back another time, and they just hang up or whatever, you do busy. Callback, we'll discuss callbacks a little bit later. Disconnected number, you don't usually hear disconnected numbers. Declined sale, if you get them qualified and they don't make it through and they don't set an appointment, that's a declined sale. Do not call. What do not call is not first. You don't use that unless they say take me off the list. If they say I'm not interested, don't put them in do not call. Do not call is only for when they say do not call. No answer. Same thing as answer machine. You can pick one. Not interested. That means if they say they're not interested, A lot of times you might not even have qualified them right. So I don't really know much about this one other than if they say they're not interested, you should definitely keep asking them questions until they hang up on you. Uh, no pitch, no price, same thing. I mean, you can put that in answer machine or busy or whatever. Sale. So now if you've set an appointment, then you're going to mark it as sale. You're not doing any transfers right now, so call transfer doesn't mean anything. Bad credit. They got to have at least 650 bad credit on most campaigns. On the Las Vegas campaign, they'll need a 680 credit. Low bill. If they don't have a bill of at least $100, then they're not going to qualify for the program. Business. If they are a business and no one there by that name, then you mark it as business. Discounts on bill. They can't have any kind of medical, no, I'm sorry, not medical, but they can't have any financial discounts. So if they don't really make enough money and they need a discount from the electric company, then they're not really going to qualify either. Has solar. They can't have solar already. Kid's cell phone. This is for if you talk to a kid and they say this is my cell phone, then we don't want to call that no more. Taxable income. They must have taxable income. Otherwise, they won't qualify for the program, and that's like thousands and thousands of dollars that they won't get, and it won't make the payment go lower than their electric bill. Renter. They have to be a homeowner. They can't be a renter. Shade. They cannot have too much shade. They got to have enough sunlight for them to power the solar panels. Out of territory. So most of our clients are going to be based out of zip code. So if the zip code doesn't qualify, then you would mark it as out of territory. So now, if you want to pause your dialer and work on something, you're going to hit this pause agent dialing. Otherwise, if you disposition, it'll continue dialing as you go. So right now I'm just going to hit answer machine because I didn't really do much with that lead. And it paused me, you see. So a couple of the other tools over here is manual dial. So if you click manual dial, you'll be able to type in the phone number into this box here. It already puts a 1 in for you, so you do not need to put a 1. And then you type in the number and you'd hit dial now. Call log. As far as a call log, it shows the last call that you did is going to be on the bottom at all times. So if you had 100 calls, you're going to be scrolling down to the bottom to get your last call. As far as everything else, that's pretty much covers your dialer agent. So that's pretty much all you'll need to do inside here. The information that pops up inside here is you do not need to edit this information. This is only just for connecting you to the dialer. Your form over here is what gets you to this is where you'll work on all your data and updating the information. Okay? So now if I click this auto refresh active phone button here, if I click that, then every phone call that gets connected over here, you see we'll put it back on resume. Every phone call that gets connected over here is going to show up over here. And this little search, not this search box right here, this one, the Solar Run pre-filter. So you'll see over here that the phone number popped up down here. The script opened up. So now that the script opened up, you see it's going to populate their name and their zip code in here to incorporate into the script. And then you'll read off to them, "Hi, this is Vic with the Clean Energy Choice Committee. The reason for my call is that my company is reaching out to homeowners who are experiencing high electricity bills. Am I speaking to Ricky? If no name is available, then just say, am I speaking to the homeowner? And then I just need to ask you a couple questions to determine if your home qualifies to save up to 50% or more on your electric bill each month. Are you seeing your electric bill go over $100 each month? Now, that needs to be yes. And do you rent or own your home? And you already kind of asked them up here, am I speaking to the homeowner? That just depends on how you do it. And then if they've confirmed that, then you'll say, can I please verify your zip code is still 89135 so I can be sure that you can qualify for our Zero Down Solar program? Yes or no. And then down here, you'll see this this zip code says no lead type qualified. So this zip code is not even going to work. If you try to hit send to form on here, it's not even going to let you through. We'll get to that in a second. And then if their zip code does qualify, then you'd be like, great, based on your zip code and utility company, your home was located in a qualified area. I am just going to ask you a few non-personal questions and verify a couple things to make sure you qualify for the rebates and programs. And again, make sure the zip code qualifies in the pre-filter. This is your pre-filter right here. So again, we can't hit send to form because the zip code doesn't qualify. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put a zip code in here that does qualify so you can see what happens. Make sure there's no spaces in there. And then hit tab once you enter the zip. Oh, it looks like something's not configured right. Let me go ahead and check it out here real quick. Okay, so if you're, as long as your zip code is qualified. Now just so you know, for the Las Vegas campaign, anywhere in Las Vegas, even if the zip code doesn't qualify, will work. So you'll have to just request to make sure the zip code has been entered. Okay, so anyway, in that case, once you've gone through this part of the script with them, and they're ready to move forward, you're just going to smoothly just go right into send to form. And that'll open up the form for you to begin the questions. And you're just going to continue on. All the questions are right here for you to ask as you fill out this form. So the opening script was in the first stage. The rest of the script is just the questions. You want to just keep asking them questions. If they're asking you questions, you're just going to say, well, let me just continue. Let me just make sure you qualify, and then I'll be able to get someone with you that'll answer your questions. You don't want to try to answer their questions for them. You always want to divert them back to the questions that you need to ask, because it does no good for you, for them, if they're just going to ask you something you don't really know until you ask the questions to qualify them. So let me just make sure you're qualified, and I'll get you some more information. Are you the homeowner? Yes. I'm going to go green right here. Obviously, if we choose no, it's going to be red because they have to be a homeowner. Do you have taxable income? Must be yes. You see it goes green again. Average electric bill. So in the last 12 months, would you say the average monthly electric bill has been over $100? So it must be over $100. Property type. Now usually the clients only like a single family residence, but a lot of times they'll accept a multi-family home as long as that homeowner owns both of the units or all 4 units. So that's very important. What is your property type? Discounts on bill. Do you participate in any utility assistance program like CARE or financial discount subsidies? So they can't have any income related discounts. Oh, we got to fill these in. Average electric bill. Property type. Discounts on bill. No discounts on bill. Electric company. Our Las Vegas client doesn't have any electric company filters, but usually you'll enter the electric company and it'll also tell you whether or not they qualify. So you'll have to look up here to see if they're still qualified. You'll see available lead types. A lead type is the client's lead types. So right here you see it's still qualified. But in this particular Las Vegas client, you're just going to put NA and choose this NA option. Roof shading. Does your roof have any major shading? Must be no more than 25% shading. And you got to check Google Maps. We'll go over that in the next stage. Credit rating. Most clients you got to have a 650 or higher credit rating. For Las Vegas, you're going to need a 680 or higher. So what would you say your credit score is above 650? Interest level. So if I can lower your monthly bill by going green on a 0 out-of-pocket program, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested would you be? They got to be at least a 7. Otherwise, they're not going to be that interested. Okay, once you've asked all those questions, then you're going to go to the next page and you're going to be like, let me just verify your information and then take a look at your roof via satellite. I see you're at 28 Cross Ridge Street. So you're going to take that address, you're going to paste it into Google, and then you'll click on the map right here. And then right here, you'll see it's a satellite image down here, bottom left. You click the satellite image, and then you'll scroll in. Now, we can all clearly see that you can't even see this house in here. So this is definitely a no qualifier shading issue. So this house is not going to be good for solar, okay? You have to just let this one go. Sorry, you have way too much shade. This is not going to work for you. All right? And then you move about your day. So at that point, you're going to just you're going to just hit the submit button. Go to navigations and go back to pre-filter. And you'll continue on trying to find a lead that will have better shading. So we'll continue on and we'll try to find a call of somebody that has a better roof. Typically in the Las Vegas area though, you're not going to have a shading issue. There's usually not very many trees in the Las Vegas area. So you'll just have to be it's very important just to keep track of that. But again, like I said, Las Vegas very rarely has that. All right, so we're gonna take that phone number. I don't have the auto refresh turned on, because if you have the auto refresh turned on right here and you're doing like I'm just trying to train you guys, so then it won't let you type anything in here if you have the auto refresh on. So right now I just have it off for training purposes. Okay, so for some reason not all those zips are qualifying, so I'm just going to put zips in there that do qualify. Okay, now we're going to send the form. Again, we're going to go over all these questions. Let's try this address again. There it is. The full address pulls up. Once again, we're going to pull up the satellite down here in the bottom left. There's a little pin. Alright, now clearly you can see this house has zero shade on it. So this is a great candidate for solar, as long as they qualify with the other questions. Okay? And now at that point, you've confirmed the address. It's very important to make sure you have the right address. If that address doesn't pull up on maps, you keep them on the phone until you find that house. Sometimes if there's no pin, let me go back over here. Sometimes you might not see this pin and it'll put you like in an actual area. You might want to just say, okay, does your house have a pool? I see here's Turning Bridge Street. I see your house is, 1, 2, 3, 4 houses down from the right hand corner, from Reflectory Avenue. You kind of can, if you don't have a pin, then you need to find their house, because you don't want to be sending them out to an appointment that they don't know where the house is or if it's even a real person, and then the client will get upset if you send them out to a house that you can't verify. All right, so now we've got a qualified prospect, a verified address. then you read off this. Congratulations, it looks like you're qualified for the program. What I'd like to do is send someone from our local office out to look at your roof and go over the details. Are you available on weekdays or weekends? They're going to answer that. You're going to be like, okay, great. Are mornings, afternoons, or evenings better? Then suggest a time slot once they've answered those questions. So that's important. Don't just you need to make sure you ask them like this. Otherwise, if you just say, when are you available, and you wait for them to answer that, then they're going to never, most of the time, they're not going to be able to answer. They're going to be confused, and they're going to not know their schedule. So you need to dig in and be more pushy to help them find their schedule. Okay? Now you've got them ready to tell you an appointment, and then you're going to be like, okay, great. Let me go ahead and see what's on my calendar. So right here, whatever shows up in these available slots here, as far as dates and as far as times, is the only slots that are available. So do not set the appointment until you get to this stage, because you may set an appointment that doesn't match up, and then you're not going to be able to submit it at that date and time. So now that we've gone through all these steps, you'll be able to submit that lead to the client. Once that lead is submitted to the client, it'll go into the quality control queue. You'll see your lead will sit in here in quality control. Once it's been approved by the quality control manager, then it'll show in quality control build. If it was declined, it'll show in quality control declined. And then if a client returns a lead, it'll show right here in this area, in the in area. Okay? So that's how you'll find out if you're getting paid on your leads, because they'll show up in here as, or how you're not getting paid on your leads. They'll show up in here, and they'll have a refunded status on there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go over your callback. So now that you're in this screen, let's say they just didn't want to go for it, and you want to send it to callback. So you would hit send to callback, and then you would choose a date, and you choose a time. I'm sorry, you'll choose a time frame, and then you'll choose a final time. Then you can be like, wants me to call them back. Type in any notes in here that you think will make you remember them when you know what you talked about in your conversation. You know, talked about his dog or something, and you'll be like, oh, how's your dog doing? You know, that'll help you figure out when you know, because you're going to be doing a lot of calls. So callback saved. Now you go up to navigations here. Just a couple things you can do. You can go back to form. If you go back to form, it'll bring you back to this form area, the same form that you're just filling out. And there's the event notification. I just did it for right away, so it pops up for you. We'll get to that in a second. And then we'll go back to pre-filter. This main page is your pre-filter area. Okay, this is where you pre-filter your leads and make sure that the leads are even going to qualify for the client. Okay, and so as far as your callbacks will show over here. Okay, and you can mark them as scheduled, expired, or completed, or rescheduled, and that's how you'll keep track of them. Now they also show up on your calendar over here too. So your calendar will have all your callbacks. So that way you stay organized, and you're not worried about your callbacks. So here you go, Robert Jenkins. You can even put extra notes on your callback here. Okay. So also, if you wanted to create a callback, let's go back and put this one in there. See, if you click down here on your history, if you click on the phone number, it'll open up like a contact card. And that'll also pull up a map. But if you click on it, not the phone number area or the view comment area, then it'll still load up in this area for you, okay? The same with your callback. If you click on your callback right here, it'll load into your pre-filter area. So I'm going to go back down here and click on Ricky again. And then you can also create a callback right here in this area. Again, you'll choose the date, the time, the hour, the minutes, and save it. Callback save, and here you'll see your other callback. And there's your event notification, and you can even snooze it if you want. Give me a snooze every 5 minutes if you want. Okay? So now you know how to do your callbacks. You know how to filter your leads. You know how to follow the script. You know how to use your dialer. Pretty much everything here is what you need. If you want to go back and see all the leads that you submitted, they'll show up right here as well in this view form contacts. That's pretty much all you need to get by and generate solar leads. And if you have any more questions, just go ahead and ask Nick, and then he'll get you taken care of. As far as that, it looks like I've covered everything. I wish you guys great luck, and let's get a lot of solar leads, because they're not gonna get themselves. You have to be a closer. You have to go for it. Don't spend time talking to people. Spend time asking questions. Always be qualifying.